Most people are scared of credit cards, and that fear is costing them money. Credit cards are one of the most powerful tools that you have, if you know how to use them correctly. My name is Kyle, and in this video, I will be explaining why credit cards should be your primary spending method and when they absolutely should not be. Starting with number 1, fraud protection. When you spend money on a credit card, initially that's not your money, that's the bank's money. So if somebody steals your card or you lose your card and somebody finds it and goes on a shopping spree, they are not spending your money, which typically means that you will not be liable for the purchases that they make using your card. You call the credit card company, they freeze the card, they handle it, you don't have to spend any extra money. And here's why this matters. You being a long-term customer matters way more than a couple spending purchases that the person who stole your card might have spent. Think of it sort of as a partnership. They protect you when something goes wrong, and as a result, you use their product long-term. Fraud protection is just the beginning. The real benefits come next. Perk number 2, and arguably one of the biggest and best perks of using credit cards. You see, when you use a debit card, that money comes straight out of your account, and that's it, you get nothing for it. However, using a credit card, you are spending the bank's money and getting rewarded for using the bank's money. Let me explain. Depending on the type of card that you choose, you can either get cash back for gas and groceries and things of that sort, or you can get points towards your flights, vacations, hotels, travels. And on top of that, the money doesn't actually leave your checkings account until about 30 days after the fact. So not only are you using someone else's money, you're getting rewarded on top of that. And the cool benefit, some people get back hundreds of dollars a year, and other people get flights for free, all because they use a credit card and save up their points. That's not too bad for not changing anything except the card you spend with. And none of this actually matters if you carry a balance. Interest wipes rewards. I might have said that point 2 was the most important perk, but this one might actually be the most important. Reason being, it is your credit score. Your credit score is one of the most valuable numbers that is attached to your name. It tells banks and lenders how reliably you use borrowed money. A strong credit score can mean better mortgage rates, lower car payments, and easier approval for future loans. Building your credit score requires its own video. However, for the purposes of this one, if you can build, track, and spend on your credit card properly and within the rules, you are actively proving your relationship with borrowed money. And as a result, you prove financial ability. And if you do this consistently, you are building your credit score as time goes on. And that's exactly what we want moving forward. Now, of course, this only works if you avoid the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to utilizing credit cards. And this is perk number 4, avoiding overspending and carrying a balance. Credit cards only work if you pay the balance in full every month. And in order to do this, you must be making more money than you are spending on your credit card. The moment you carry a balance, which means having money that you haven't paid for past the payment date, you start to accumulate interest, which is more money that you have to pay the longer you wait to pay this off. And this interest will wipe out any rewards, points, or bonuses that would have mattered to you otherwise, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of using the card in the first place. So pay off your card every month. Promise me that. And a lot of people get burned because they think that the credit card is just free money, extra money. It is not. You still have to pay off that card, which means you have to have that money in one of your checkings accounts somewhere in order to pay off that card. And that creates the biggest problem of all, the bank winning. We do not want the banks to win. We want to win. And if we aren't winning, the bank is winning. And the bank always finds a way to win. So play your part, pay off your card, and do not give them any more money than they need to have. Did you guys know that banks are quarterly profiting over $3 billion? And this leads directly into the next perk, budgeting awareness. At the end of every month, you get a credit card statement, and this statement shows exactly where you spent your money and will usually break down by a quadrant, like food, groceries, bills, that sort of thing. So when you can track all of this, you know exactly where your money is going, which makes it easier to budget. And as we stated earlier, you must make more money than you spend. So if you spend $4,000 a month, and you only make $3,000, you have $1,000 that you can now not pay for, which carries a balance, which means the bank gets more money.
Boo.
These people who are afraid of credit cards, they think that credit cards cause bad spending. But that's not the case. Credit cards reveal the poor spending habits that you have, in which case should make it easier to correct those mistakes. The final perk is called cash flow timing. Credit cards have a statement date of 28 to 30 days. After those 30 days are up, you have about 1 to 2 weeks to pay that amount off in full. Used correctly, this will improve your cash flow without costing you an extra penny. But if it's used incorrectly, it causes you debt. and that's no bueno. And to use credit cards isn't about spending less, it's just about understanding how you are spending and where to allocate your money. Do you think credit cards are a tool or a trap? Let me know down below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So to wrap this up, credit cards aren't inherently good or bad. Like anything else, they are merely just a tool. It all comes down to how you use it. Used correctly, credit cards help with fraud protection, increases cash flow, helps you budget better, gives you points and rewards. But used incorrectly, it lowers your credit score and causes you debt. And the difference isn't what card you buy, it's just the discipline to know where you're spending your money and how you're spending that money. If you treat a credit card like it's a debit card, as if that money leaves your account every time you use it, you will start to build up your credit score and everything will run smoothly. You get rewards, you get points, and you start to live a better lifestyle. However, if you think of it as free money, you will only cause yourself grief and stress. If this video helped you think about credit cards differently, drop a subscribe below, like the video for more. Happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.